good morning and welcome. You're watching Times Now. I'm Sagarika Mitra, and first up on this edition of the news, we are going to get you an exclusive conversation that my colleague Siddharth Talia had with Piyush Goyal in Israel. So Modi diplomacy is once again advancing India's interests, and this time with a major boost to India-Israel trade ties. Union Commerce and Trade Minister Piyush Goyal is on a landmark visit to Israel, the first by an Indian Commerce Minister in the last 20 years. He has spoken exclusively to Times Now about the big push towards a new FTA and a deeper strategic partnership. Piyush Goyal stresses that innovation, startup, cybersecurity and medtech will be the core pillars of the next phase of cooperation, but he's also making it clear that there will be no rush to seal the deal on sensitive issues. Listen in to this exclusive conversation.
Many thanks, Mr. Piyush Goyal, for speaking to Times Now. And we're speaking in Jerusalem during your visit as Commerce and Industries Minister to this country. And it's been a brief trip so far, but also a very productive one. And the highlight, of course, has been the signing of the terms of reference of what will eventually become an FTA. I will not broach the question of a timeline, but I'd like to begin with a slightly historical question. I was going through the manifestos of the Bharatiya Janata Sangh, your party's predecessor, all the way back to 1967. And in that election manifesto, the Bharatiya Janata Sangh had actually advocated for the full establishment of diplomatic ties with the state of Israel. Now, as we all know, it was in 1992 that the ties were fully established when Mr. P.V. Narasimha Rao was the Prime Minister. So in your negotiations with your Israeli counterparts, did you ever get the sense that you're also making up for lost time and that you're also making up for certain missed opportunities from the past, which is why the relationship has blossomed to the extent that it has over the last 8 to 10 years?
Well, I think under Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji, the ties between Israel and India really took off, and Mr. Arun Jaitley, the former Commerce Minister, had visited here. But the first Prime Minister to visit Israel has been Prime Minister Narendra Modi in 2017. I'm probably the first Commerce Minister in the last 20 years to have visited Israel. It's a country with a lot of innovation, small country, but over the years they have converted every crisis into an opportunity, something that we see happening in India also. Yes. They've come up with very innovative products to help them increase the agriculture output with a small land base, very little water. They have done some wonderful work on health tech. The software industry here has been on a roll. On artificial intelligence, they've come up with groundbreaking technologies. And my sense is a partnership with the state of Israel will really help India get into the next phase of R&D, higher levels of innovation, and help our industry, help our economic growth take a faster trajectory.
Mr. Goyal, you've said this repeatedly, that every bilateral relationship has its own dynamic, every bilateral negotiation has its own dynamic. But now that you've actually charted the contours and the rubric in which the eventual FTA will be signed between India and Israel, you've identified the no-go areas or the certain Lakshman Rekhas or red lines that one can't cross. How smooth do you expect future negotiations with Israel to be compared to some of the other perhaps challenging negotiations that have been with respect to the EU or the United States for that matter?
Well, every negotiation has its own challenges. In every negotiation, one tries to address the mutual sensitivities of both nations. Even with my colleague minister, I had extensive discussions yesterday again, and we are meeting after a little time again just now, to see how we can converge on low-hanging fruits, how we can ensure that we don't get down the path of sensitive issues for each other, which only delays decisions. And let's look at the benefit that our business circles on both sides can get. And I think this mutual respect and understanding that we have developed will help us at least decide on phase one of a free trade agreement quite quickly.
And a final question, what's been the highlight for you, apart from, of course, having signed the terms of reference, in terms of the tangible outcomes one can expect with the eventual FTA? You did mention the metro construction project that is of great interest to both countries. But that apart, anything else that stood out for you, sir?
Well, I think this is a country which has long suffered adversities, thousands of years of being banished from their own motherland and having come back and established the state of Israel after a long struggle for their land. In some sense, their history resonates with our own struggle against Mughal rule and colonial rule. We both got independence around the same time, 47 for India, 48 for Israel.
Correct.
Both countries have converted every adversity into an opportunity. And I think that strength that together we can become a force multiplier for global good, whether it's in R&D, whether it's in innovation, encourages us to aim big when it comes to this partnership. It will encompass partnership in high-tech areas, health, fintech, agri-tech, defense, cybersecurity, artificial intelligence. So as I often said, the sky is the limit in this partnership. And both sides are equally committed to leveraging the friendship that our leaders have, the people-to-people connect, our rich cultures and traditions. And I'm very confident that we have a bright future ahead of us.